But that video that I sent you, the one that I had up on my YouTube, that night I went into deep meditation, and my healing was right there. You know, because when you get in that dark area and where all the anger and the rage is and the hurt, you have to go through it. And then when you go through that valley, it's going to be a whole lot of things coming up, and it's going to be an intellect in there that's going to try to convince you to stay there and stay angry and stay enraged. But that's just a sign, that's just an indication that your healing is present. You just have to keep moving forward. And once you keep moving forward, you find out that while you're moving forward and you're learning things about yourself in the darkness, and then the Creator puts a choice in front of you after you've understood everything clearly. You know, now that you know that about these things, do you choose to remain in darkness? Do you choose to remain angry and hurt and all of that? Is that where you want to be? And I chose something else. And when I let go of all of that, when I came out of meditation, that's when I felt like I didn't feel anything no more. I'm like, wow, I'm free. See, it's all a choice. And so once I experienced that, I hurried up and I wrote that information down, and I put it out there to let people know. Those times when you're really outraged and you're hurt and your deepest hurt, and you just, you're just so angry. Believe it or not, that's the time you're supposed to delve into the darkness so that you can understand what's in it, because you're right at the crossroads of your healing. You just can't stay there. You either choose to stay there or you choose to move forward. I had chosen to move forward. You know, that's why it doesn't seem like I'm outraged or angry anymore, because I let all that stuff go, man. I allowed myself to heal. You know, that's why you don't hear me talking about Salam no more. No, I don't care about that stuff, man. I move forward. You know, and it's not even in the sense of, well, she's going to get her karma. See, you're still holding on to it. You know, the universe don't need you to remind it what its job is. And even if she don't get no karma, you shouldn't care either way. What difference does it make? It really, in fact, doesn't make a difference. As long as you're at peace, that's all that matters. Because unless you're at peace, you're not going to be successful in anything. You can't let people kill you. You just have to learn how to stay away from people that are no good for you. When I went into meditation and I finally allowed myself to be led into that darkness, all of that rage and stuff that I was feeling, man, it was so much violence there. It was so much violence. It was like 3 or 4 storms going on at the same time. It's like a whirlwind of storms, and it was my voice, it was other people's voices going on, and it was that intelligence saying, you know, this is the way it is. This is who you are. You know, all of those lies that was being told. You know. But I heard the Creator just said, just keep moving forward. Just keep moving forward, because you are very close to your healing. And I'm like, how is that? All of this? This means you're very close to your healing. Just allow yourself to keep being led forward. Don't believe anything you see. Don't believe anything you hear. Just let me lead you through this, because your healing you're at your healing. This is your healing. So it gets very dark and violent at the very brink of your healing, because your past, the rage and the anger and everything, it transmits its intelligence into you for one reason, because it does not want you to let it go, because it doesn't want to let you go. Because it doesn't want you to heal, because its existence depends on you being there. But once you allow yourself to be led past it and everything, and then when the light is present and the storm starts fading away, and then once you feel that state of meditation start to I would say diminish, and then you sit there and you open your eyes, because you're being brought out of meditation now. You're not coming out of meditation. You're being brought out of meditation, and you open up your eyes, and all of a sudden everything is gone. I'm like, Josh ain't gonna believe this. He ain't gonna believe this. You come out of it and everything is gone. And then you test it. You think about real humiliating stuff that you saw. Yeah, I'm gonna test it. Don't even affect you, it's gone. You're like, wow, that was a beautiful experience. It was beautiful. My mother said, it's like you was born again. I said, no, I wasn't born again, Mom. No. No, I wasn't born again. Can't say that, because I didn't die. So I can't be, it's just that I allowed everything else around me to die. I chose to live. I chose not to remain in the darkness. I wanted us to get a phone conversation about that, because a lot of people didn't understand that video when I put it up, and it got a lot of hits, but it didn't get any likes, which I don't really care, but because my writing is kind of unique because of my insight, and a lot of people just don't get it. A lot of people they just don't get it, and they're like, But all at the same time, I remember Dominique Kateria telling me, she said, what it is with you, she said, even though people don't understand your intelligence, she said they're afraid of your intelligence too. She said, so before they criticize what you wrote down or anything like that, or question you, she said, you're the type of person, she said, I'm just going to tell you, David, I'm just going to tell you. She said, sometimes people are even afraid to question you about what you mean. Because she said, people don't want to end up feeling stupid. But I told Dominique, I said, that's why I'm here. I said, I'm here to give insight, because insight has been given to me. And I'm not a teacher. I just want everybody to be free. Yeah. That's why on my YouTube, you see me attacking religion so much. And I don't attack religion in a way that most people attack it. I attack it intellectually by way of exposing it. My implication is to get people to think about what they say they believe. Think about it. Just don't believe it. And that's it. You have to give thought to what you say you believe.
one will find that, before the healing is complete, one will and must suffer the anger of the time of the darkness of oneself. From coming to realize this and understand the importance of this most profound part of the healing journey, many matters of the mind and heart must be understood precisely. If not, then the healing in its completeness will not take place inside of the human being. This reveals another internal time of when before the healing is complete, one is faced with a time of which a choice has to be made during the time of great anger and rage, and therefore, a time of turmoil of which a final decision will be made in terms of one's state of immortality. The darkness is present in all of its dual components, and must be faced as a storm which will not be passing from you, because the storm is in fact, you. The darkness of oneself is present in all of its might. The immense anger of what transpired now serves as an agent in effect and intention, to prevent one from the healing which must take place. It is the effects of the past hurts of which is trying to convince the host that remaining within the darkness of the rage and the anger is the destiny of oneself. This is a lie of which only making the wrong choice will be the truth to yourself, and therefore, your self-destruction. The first stage of anger is knowing that what was said or done to you was morally wrong and unacceptable. The truth of knowing of what is right and what is wrong, and knowing that one has performed nothing for to be harmed or humiliated. The effects of the perception of being unjustly treated and misunderstood, as well as being purposely misunderstood for the convenience of those who oppose your peace of mind and spirit. Choosing not to respond inadequately, in opposition to what is commonly asserted as adequate, opens up another storm of challenge. Not performing what the common human being would do, is a human being who decides to move forwards without acting upon a self-destructive resolve, which in fact is beneficial resolve to him or her if the results are not perceived as self-destructive. Having the wisdom and intelligence to move forwards without destroying oneself upon an established common state, is a task beneficial, however, a difficult one. The regret of not striking out in matters, even upon the physical, which would seem righteous, based upon personal moral principle rooted in ego, and justified in the common state of intelligence, holds a journey which is difficult to venture, but not impossible to survive if one is willing to endure with wisdom. To survive this journey, one comes to know that to live through this time of darkness, one must die to the previous mind which is commonly activating upon the emotional state of being. You must no longer be what you were, for the sake of becoming that which you must be. It has forever been about you, and not of how the environment and its members has affected you. The immense state of anger is a time of suffering as well as a time for critical meditation. It is a time of a choice that is precise. It is a time of coming to know who and what you are, as this is the primary purpose of why this times of darkness is made to be the most intense. It is worth the journey. It is a time of deciding of who you want to be in accordance to who you are destined to become. The inflictions of the past, rather physical or verbal, hold inside of the memories an intelligence that is profoundly convincing of the darkness being present and of how the darkness should be considered a permanent ally. The convincing factor is allowed by the divine, for to understand the consequences of your choosing to remain inside of the darkness of the anger, or to allow the creator of the universe to bring you through the healing that you may be born into who and what you have forever been. Along the journey, we all have been diverted of the principal way. This has been the case including through our own earthly families, as well as those whom asserted to be a family upon the principles of morality. As all of these times are rooted in religious doctrine as well as culture and tradition, one comes to know that their destiny and therefore, their very existence is beyond doctrine. It is beyond trappings and demands of culture and of tradition. And in time, the behavior of those in the environment reveal this when you are suddenly rather openly, or in the shadows, attacked for no reasoning of any action which you have performed to provoke it. But, be not perplexed. These people are primarily in your journey for the sake of diverting you from your way, and in the same movement, playing a vital part for you to come to understand yourself, for to be risen above your common responses and thinking, and therefore, into who you have been created to be, as all of which is perceived as a complicated dilemma, It has been created a necessity for one to know oneself fully. The dark times of this immense anger and resentment is created for one to not resent themselves through their own pains. Resenting yourself while through your turmoil is but losing yourself. You allow the pain to force you to be propelled out of your sound mind, which is being led by the divine, but suddenly betrayed by your giving into the pain of your past and the lasting pains of the present, which is relying upon the anger and rage to divert you from your destiny of knowing oneself entirely. The immense pain that one feels, coupled with the very convincing intelligence of what was wrong and what should have been done, and using the entity of regret as a device to convince and to entrap how one will be from this time forth, is important to understand the vital effects and of how they attack. The dual component of these effects is to have one face themselves and to choose who they are to be, in accordance to who they are meant to be. The environment tries to convince one that who they are meant to become has all of which to do with what has happened to them by way of those who have done them a mortal disservice. This is not the fact. Who and what one is meant to become has only to do with the divine creator alone and what is sanctioned. Having the understanding of this is the primary factor of one evolution and survival. Times of anger, rage and darkness are revealed to the host for one important truth, and that is to allow them to understand that their healing is coming to an end, and that the effects of the past is trying to keep them in turmoil. This is the most predominant time, because of one has made a choice to remain in the darkness of their mind because of what transpired, instead of evolving from the darkness despite of what transpired. I chose to venture past the darkness of those effects and to become new and of what I have forever been. One says, I now understand that all of which has transpired was not to destroy me, but to purge things inside of me out which needed to die, so that I may in fact understand what living entails. Healing. Such a profound and beautiful journey. Written by David Anthony Brayboy.